when we were getting ready for Iran, you know, those I give you those numbers. They pop in the periodic table for 4448 when you do that 238 math. Or 5448 or whatever. Okay, so off by one error. But yeah, off by 1,000 or 100 or something. 1,100, whatever. But when we was getting ready, we hadn't fought a war since Vietnam. They did drawdowns after Vietnam, and the force was kind of gutted. You know, there wasn't a war from Vietnam to Grenada, other than some covert action. We weren't really ready. They say they draw down the special ops. It's in one of those videos. You can watch it yourself. And the lesson we knew from history was kind of a lesson you could learn from the Koreans, from the Japanese, and from others in Asia, from their history, is that those samurais were the best warriors, just about, given what they had, a sword and some body armor. They didn't really lose a lot of sword fights, because once you lose a sword fight, you lose your head. When you pull a sword out, it has to taste blood. That's like in the samurai code, you know. You don't pull swords out and aim them at people. And it's not like a 357 where you say, get the fuck off my land. When the samurais pull out swords, they pull out and chop somebody's head off. So I don't walk around with no samurai sword, because I don't plan on chopping anybody's head off. But that's what they do. When we get ready for Iran, we have to find a cop who's willing to fight to the death. And we needed cops to be on those airplanes to fly into Iran from Germany and to fly back to like Ramstein, I guess it was. And I'd have met some people in Idaho who said they were out there in Germany or something, brought them in or whatever. And I didn't even met somebody who said they went into Iran. I know some of the SEALs who went in, and I know some of those energy cops who went in, and I know definitely our man with the swastika tattoo from the Marshal Service. He went in. Marshal, SEAL, DOE. What's the difference, right? Maybe he didn't have buds, but he had some pretty hardcore training through life, and he wasn't afraid. And put the swastika burning in his face. He could get plastic surgery. He might have been the kind of guy who didn't mind it, and he'd go right back home and join a prison gang or something, and he'll have fun in the DEA, ATF, or whatever. Some of them don't mind smoking a little dope, drinking a little bit, collect a little intelligence, make sure they're not building a fentanyl nuclear weapon. Yeah, that's a new, what is it? Is that Kim Jong-un's new weapon? Because he says he has something new that's bigger and better than everything, right? Best thing since sliced bread. He got a new turkey for us. He knows how to get it over here too and build it right in the hood with his homies. Because trust me, some of them looked over there and he said, I don't want to die at Kim Jong-un's hands. And I don't want to fight George Bush's war. I don't want to fight Reagan's war. I don't want to fight George W. Bush's war. I don't want to fight that axis of evil. And they just came back home. And they don't have no problem, linking up. They didn't really care. They liked Obama. Some people joined the military to serve with him, serve for him, or whatever they thought. But George Bush, Reagan, they went down with all that. But let me tell you, when you get ready for Iran, they started practicing. It was practicing to kill. And how do you do that? They did some show of force out there at Baker Beach and on the Golden Gate Bridge. They were looking for the energy cop that didn't mind snapping around. And that meant covert action. And it was covert action to rescue hostages or whatever. We weren't going in to raid and kill and do all that at that point. But we were getting on the plane, and this was right after the election. I didn't get on the plane, but I was out there helping. And those guys had to be ready. You know, they had to be ready for anything in Tehran. They was going to have to fight to the death because we weren't going to send more hostages over there. Reagan knew. He knew we're not sending hostages there. We're sending, like, hostage rescue, SEAL team, do whatever it takes kind of guys. And if they have to fight their way into a bunker or something so they can hang out for a little while, and while we carpet bomb the place and maybe even nuke the place, that's what we'll do. And they realized that we were serious, that we were going in to kill people if there was a problem. And we had massed enough of what we needed to mass out there to prove that these guys go in and come out no problem. If they don't, we're going to take care of business. And they didn't want to see us bombing everything and leveling the place or whatever we had to do. Reagan, he said in no uncertain terms, you know. He was a great communicator, and that's one of the reasons people knew from day one that he got him out without a shot being fired pretty much. The training involved some deaths, and I don't know how many deaths were actually involved in the covert action to fly in and out of there, but it's possible. Sometimes people die. Sometimes you leave people behind. When the plane leaves, there's somebody out there watching and signaling that everything's okay, just keep rolling down the runway. And if they signal, and sometimes they get caught and they got to go somewhere. They brave. Some of them is sacrificing. It's like the ultimate sacrifice. That's why there were stars up on the wall and they don't tell anybody what they did. They took every risk in the world getting them to come in and getting them to leave. And then the Iranians wanted something. So they're kind of exchange, you know, so pull his head apart and find out what they could figure out about him. That happens. Might have been an agent. I doubt it was an officer. We might have heard about that by now. But a lot of times we lose agents, you know, brave agents that they believe in America. They want their country to be just like America. Some of them don't want to come here. They like to come here, study, and some of them want to go back. That's all they want to do is go. Some of them we want to go somewhere else, or we want to keep them here because they got a big brain and we want to tap it. But sometimes we do send them back, and we like to send them back because we want them to fix their country sometimes. Not become a puppet president, but give their country some values, you know. And it's hard to fix a country like Iran that's steeped in theocratic beliefs and oppressive beliefs. But there's a lot of good people over there that came over here when the Shah fell. And they weren't all like puppets of the Shah. They were just kind of people who believed in freedom and American values to some extent. Some of them were Christians. And, you know, the Shah might have been a puppet, but all those people who came over here weren't puppets. They're just like anybody else wants to come to America. They saw the handwriting on the wall. It wasn't going to be safe for them. They were supportive of American investment and all those kind of things, the good things that come out of that kind of American involvement in Iran. But yeah, and what happened with the hostages in Grenada or whatever? Reagan looked at it and he said, we're not going 444 days again. We're down there within a couple hours practically, you know. It was a hasty kind of move. We gathered up the troops as fast as we could kind of thing and moved the ships and the planes and everything in and parachuted right in as fast as we could. I don't know how many hours and days, I don't know the history on it, but look at the history of Reagan and what Reagan did on day one to get the hostages out practically. It's like he's like swearing in and getting people ready at the same time. He swears in, walks in the Oval Office and says, okay, how are we getting the people out of Iran? Him and George Bush, right? They were out real quick. And then you look at the Grenada situation, they were out real quick. Then you look at the Panama situation, that's fucking with some SEAL down in Panama. We didn't have no problem go grab Noriega and bring him home within a month. because that SEAL was in his car, a convertible or something, with some hot wife he had or whatever, and they started screwing with him, and within, like, what was it, on December 7th or something, December 4th or 6th or 7th or something, they did that early in the month, and within like 2 weeks we invaded, December 20th, right? And the 20th is what? 20th is T for Trident, right? You don't fuck with some Trident. Trident death or whatever it was. We was ready. We had a lot of Trident deaths right out on the 20th or afterwards. Yeah, I know. There's the Army Saps people was down there playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is what they told me. Well, they was invading to keep the kids not worrying about it and keep the families kind of preoccupied, not thinking about it. Yeah, they could see things happening, but didn't know exactly what was going on. News blackout. And then I knew some guy. He went in with the SEALs, and he was one of those Army Saps photographers, and he photographed the invasion routes before the Rangers and all them went in. That was before the 20th. And people say that Just Cause started on this day or whatever. Yeah, they say it was a Christmas Eve invasion, 20th invasion. It was when they went in with the cameras and they filmed their routes. They was just kind of walking down the road like a couple hippie photographers and a fag or whatever. And that is good acting, you know what I mean? The CIA had come in and play, you know, homo Mexican or whatever down here to buy some buds, looking for a good mamacita with some beard. They're real good actors, is what I know. Is that guy, I didn't talk to him for a while. He's a decent actor too, the photographer. He wouldn't know how to talk about it, sort of. They let him talk, and I used to listen to him. And I did counterintelligence right there in Saps talking to this guy. And he had a crypto name. But, yeah, he filmed the invasion routes, and they had to know, you know, there was Rio Hato, there was the SEALs came in, and they went across the runways and shit, and then guys out at sea. They know where they were supposed to hit and where they were supposed to go from there, and what they were supposed to hit from there, and what roads they were supposed to take. And all those captains, those infantry captains that were part of that, they had intelligence that the SEALs collected. That's what they call SR, Special Reconnaissance. They'd parachute in behind the lines, they'd fly in, whatever it is. So I could get off an airliner in some countries, walk around and take the pictures, and we'd have the invasion route. It just depends. They walked in, took the pictures. That's why some of these people in Homeland, they say they get nervous when people are taking pictures and shit, because they know about Panama. You just walk right in and take a few pictures, and all of a sudden there's 10,000 men coming through the air. Maybe even more, I don't know. But they took Noriega and the PDF out pretty quick. PDF, it was bright not to fight. Some of them fight to the death, but we got Noriega, brought him back with the DA on the airplane. He's sitting in Florida for years.